welcome to the Joyful House. Welcome to my playground. This is the week of August the 18th through the 24th. Are you ready? Are you ready to go chase some fun? Well, let's see what Miss Annie has in store for us this week. She says, try something again. Samuel Beckett says, ever tried? Ever failed? No matter what, try again, fail better. Miss Annie says her mind jumps back to a younger time in her life, a time when the soccer ball was never far from her feet, when rolling around on grass and slide, tackling and chasing other players, and the ball was the most fun she was having. She says, I hadn't played a game since high school, 2 full decades, but suddenly I knew what was missing from my exercise life. Sports kind of fun. I wasn't having the kind of fun that felt connected down to my bones and down through history. And I hadn't had that level of fun in exercise since the end of my senior year of high school. So I started playing again. Covered in sweat and red face with tears dripping from my eyes, I cried because that hour of soccer was so fun. I cried because my foot connecting with the soccer ball was also my guts connecting with something more. With middle school Annie and with those outside games and the smell of the grass and the sound of a shoe sending a ball down the field, I was back there and I was happy. It's all about connection anyways, isn't it? With God, with others, with ourselves, yesterday and today. My first day back with the soccer ball wasn't easy. In fact, I felt a little bit like a fish out of water. It had been so long since I'd kicked a ball, besides playing in the backyard with the Barnes kids. I've watched hours of soccer on television or from a seat in a stadium. But the footwork is very different when it's your own 2 feet, and they are the feet of an amateur. But even on that first day, even though I was clumsy and new again, I had a ton of fun. So, our challenge for this week to chase the fun is, what is one activity that we could try again? What is one activity that we could try again? So, in other words, something that we haven't done in a very long time is something we need to do. So, my mind is racing on different things that I could try and do. Have a busy week scheduled, so I'll have to see how we can work something in, but stay tuned. And I do hope that you chase your fun. All right. See you later this week. welcome back to the Joyful House. It is Sunday evening and our week is coming to a close. I hope you've had a great week. I hope you've had a great weekend. I know that I have. Oh my gosh, from getting to spend time with little Seth again. It had been way too long since Todd and I had seen him. It had actually been right at about a year. And so we were so happy to have 2 days with him. With everything that's been going on in the Joyful House, we just really hadn't had time, and maybe it was more we didn't make time, but oh my gosh, what a nice little reunion it was and how much fun we had. And then spending a wonderful and beautiful day all day with my parents yesterday. Just really had a great time and just treasured every moment that we had. Todd and I took it very easy today. I know he was extremely sore from all the stooping and bending that he did, but I know that my parents fully appreciated all the work that he did. And between the two of us, we forgot to take a picture of the garden finally done and finished with all the weeds removed. And so hopefully the next time we go, you'll get to see that. But if you look at some of the past Welcome to My Playground videos, you will have seen that garden because it sits right in front of their house. And usually that's what you see as I'm coming down their drive. But anyway, so real quick, I do want to share one other little thing with you, but I'm going to make it very brief because I do not want it darkening at all the wonderful week that we just had. But yesterday morning, like in the middle of the night, my sugar jumped up to 300 and the alarm on my sensor started going off. And so anyway, needless to say, as the day progressed at my parents' yesterday, my body literally began swelling. Like it was just blowing up. And by the end of the night, we were sitting there, we had finished dinner, finished dishes, and we were actually planning to stay a little bit longer and watch a Hallmark movie with them that started at 8. But my sugar started dropping, and it continued dropping, and it got as low as 60. And so my mom gave me a piece of candy, and I sucked on that, and it jumped up to 74. But then it started dropping again. So then I drank some of my dad's orange juice, and it actually brought it up to 80. But then as time continued going on, it started dropping again and started dropping fast. But the thing that alarmed me more was my body, like I said, had been swelling throughout the day. It got to a point that my feet were just, so swollen and distorted. My legs were so big, my arms, my stomach, and we had noticed that, especially in the pictures when we were looking back at them, at how big my stomach had gotten. And even right now, you can see from looking at those pictures, it's not even the same stomach. Like this is a lot smaller, although it's still big. But anyway, I don't know what was going on, but it got to a point I could not even bend my toes. I couldn't bend my foot. I couldn't bend my legs. It was awful. So we got in the car, and that was something. It was first off, took me a very long time to walk from the house to the car. And when we got to the car, I literally couldn't bend my body to get in the car. So I had to lay down. I had to literally lay back in the seat, and Todd had to help me put my legs up. My sugar continued to drop, and we had full intentions of possibly heading to the emergency room. And he decided to stop at Sonic and get a milkshake, which we did do. And as I began, with that milkshake, of course, my sugar started coming up. And I had a terrible headache. The headache has not fully gone away. I still have it a little bit, but it's very dull. But my sugar started rising, and as it did, this weird feeling that I had started to go away. But the only way I can explain it is like if there's an aura of heat around you and it feels like it's going, ooh. Of course, I was shaken. And in a sense, this probably was a worse experience than what I experienced on my play date with Samantha. And so, anyway, by the time we got to Newberry, which, if you'll remember, we live about 55 minutes from my parents, I was feeling much better. My sugar was at 110. So I told Todd at that point, I could wiggle my toes. I could kind of move my feet a little bit more in a twisting motion than an up and down motion. But I said, please, let's go home. Let me lay down for a little bit and we'll go from there. So that's what we did. We went home and I went straight to bed. He went and took a shower to get all that, stuff off of him, and bless his heart, he ended up with a little bit of poison ivy. But so he treated that and he came back to the room and I was sound asleep. I did wake up probably about an hour and a half later, so about 10:15, 10:30ish. And I was hungry. So we fixed me something small to eat, and then we decided to both go to bed, and we did. And he got up early this morning and went to Walmart to pick up some things and to buy me some sweatpants, because with my body swelling and not to mention the weight gain from the insulin, my clothes are a little bit snug. So anyway, so he got those and picked us up some breakfast. And so I got up, but I slept in very, very late today. So I didn't get up until about 11:30 this morning after he got back. But I've had a really good day, and I've worked here in the studio some, and I've been crocheting a little bit. But most of the day, I've just really taken it easy. I do have swelling, so I do plan on reaching out to my doctor in the morning and just kind of saying, hey, this is some things that are going on. So what do you think we should do? Rather than just waiting until my appointment with her in a month. So anyway, I'm going to let her know about, dipping low with my sugar, and definitely this swelling, because I still have swelling. This morning, and really the whole point of why I'm sharing this, because honestly, I wasn't going to share this little episode that happened, but this is hilarious. So this morning when I did wake up, before Todd went to Walmart, which is one of the reasons he went to Walmart, to be honest, my throat was really hurting. Like I had a really bad sore throat. And I thought maybe it was from sitting outside. I've never dealt with allergies in my entire life. I've been one that's been very, very blessed. Never had an allergy problem. So I thought, okay, well, I'm 56 now. They say your body changes at different, times in your life. So maybe, just maybe, I'm now susceptible to it a little bit more. So Todd was going to go get something that I could take for my sore throat. This is what he bought me, okay? Chloroseptic sore throat and cough. First off, I'm going to tell you, it really works. Like, it not only numbed my throat, but my entire tongue where I sucked on it was so numb. And then by the time I was done, my entire tongue was numb. It works. He got carded. He got carded for this. He checked out at a kiosk, and the guy came over and asked him, are you buying beer? Because are you allowed to buy beer here on Sundays now? I know at a time we had a law that you couldn't, but I think that ban has been lifted long, long time ago. But anyway, he thought maybe Todd was buying beer. And Todd's like, no, I'm not buying any beer. So he went to look, and he's like, oh, dude, it's this. And he's like, I need to see your ID. Really? My husband got carded for buying chloroseptic, sore throat, and cough. Is that not funny? So, thought you would enjoy that good laugh. All right. Let's close out this week. We were challenged to do something that we had done when we were younger, or just anything from our past that we had not done in a while. And so I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I had some ideas, and I ended up going with the idea that I thought of first. For me, one of the things that I enjoyed from an early age on, probably from about the age of 4, when my mom first taught me how to read. I have always had a book in my hands. Every time you turned around, I was reading a book. And if ever I had to have a punishment and be sent to my room, my punishment was always taking my books away. Now, with that being said, I mean, what parent would want to punish their child by not allowing them to read? But you see, I read all the time. So it was the best punishment, and it kept me in line. So anyway, the point is, I went back to reading. Now, it's not to say that I haven't been reading since then, because after all, we do Once Upon a Storybook, and I listen to books, audio. But it's been a while outside of Once Upon a Storybook in our Anne series that I just read a book, like actually touched a book, turned the pages for myself. So I'm borrowing some books from my mom, and she had actually given me these books probably close to 5 months ago. Yeah, somewhere in February, March. And I'm just now picking one up to read. So the one I chose, I know it's a movie on Netflix, but it's called It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. And oh my gosh, I've already jumped into it quite a bit. And this is where I'm at. I have made it to, it's covering it up. Chapter 9. So 118 pages I read this week. So this is how I chased my fun this week, was reading this book. And so far, it's really a good book. So it makes me want to go see the Netflix movie on it. But of course, I always enjoy reading the books before the movies, because in my personal opinion, whenever a movie is made from a book, the book is still always 10 times better. So I prefer reading the books before seeing the movie. That way, I can visualize too what I think the story is doing and saying, and what the characters look like before I see the movie. All right. Well, that ends our week. And again, hope you've had a great one. I know I'm already looking forward to the week to come. And I'll see you on the flip side. I'll see you next week. All right. Well, take care and be joyful. Stay crafty in your own way. Make your own joyful creations and be the joy in everything you do. And always, always chase your fun. Mwah. Nugs and joy. I love you. See you next week.